All right, everyone. Well, we are back this morning and we are very luckily joined by our first returning guest. And look, while he is a newly minted black belt under Hanada Tavares BJJ in Kansas City, and while he is laying down the law on fresh blue belts, he'll always be the vanilla gorilla in the cage. So, Jason, firstly, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. I just got done playing around the golf, so I'm pretty terrible at that. So I got that, but no, man. Life right now is pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's what you want to hear. So, Jason, something I wanted to ask you that the martial artists who follow us will be interested in is that one of the things we will see, especially from martial artists who are a year or two sort of into their journey, is a frustration at their perceived lack of development. And this is something I think you can particularly see in jiu-jitsu, especially as people, we hear about the post-blue belt blues all the time. Someone will get a blue belt, they don't quite feel like a blue belt. So is that something that you've ever experienced throughout your own journey in jiu-jitsu and MMA where you felt that your perceived progression wasn't where it should be?
Yeah, of course, man. I think that's anybody in life is gonna feel that way, especially jiu-jitsu, especially because jiu-jitsu is one of those games, fighting, MMA, whatever. You have to learn to lose. Like you can't ever get better. Like football, this is one thing I love about. This is why the reasons I love mixed martial arts and stuff like that is you have to learn to lose. You in football, you can practice, you can do drills, you can lift weights, you can do all that stuff to get better. But you don't have to lose. You don't have to lose to get better. In jiu-jitsu and martial arts, you have to lose to get better. You have to be humbled to get better. And that's one thing I love about it. And it's very frustrating. It really is. It sucks. But it's just it's one of those things that you have to go through, and it's one of those things you got to stay consistent with. And that's what sucks about it. Like there's days you feel like you're on top of the world. There's days you feel like you couldn't submit a white belt if your life depended on it. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things you got to stay consistent with. And it really, I'm gonna go off track just a little bit. I've been training for 15 years, and I don't remember, like, I still lose every day. Like there's the losers to all that stuff. People are still better than me. But I started playing golf about a year ago, right? I don't remember what it's like to be bad at something. Like I'm good at jiu-jitsu. I'm not great at it, but like, you know what I mean? I don't remember what it's like to be a white belt or a blue belt. I don't remember what it's like to be bad at something. And now I'm playing golf, and I'm like, I don't remember what it's like to learn skill, because that shit sucks.
Yeah.
I quit playing golf like every single week. It's terrible. You hit a bad shot, but like, it's just one of those things that I've learned from jiu-jitsu is to fall in love with the journey of the process of learning. And it sucks. It really does. I forgot what it was like, but
yeah.
You're never going to feel like, even when I got a black belt, I didn't feel like I was a black belt. You know what I mean? Like, it's just because there's no end to the learning. There's no end to it. There's no you're perfect. There's no you're the best person in the entire world. It doesn't matter. Yeah. There's no end. You're never gonna feel like you're never gonna feel like, oh, I belong here. You know what I mean? And you do. That's the thing. You do, but it's hard to understand that until you're actually in the game.
100%. Jason, something I wanted to ask you is, as MMA becomes sort of more popular and by that way more commercialized, do you think the arts side of mixed martial arts is maybe being diluted or lost a little bit? And what I mean by that is, like, those values of the traditional martial artists, such as respect and brotherhood, attempting to make a community out of it and the love of the sport. Do you think those values are being lost a little bit as of late?
Man, that's almost kind of a perceived opinion in a sense. And what I mean by that is I don't see that from my perspective. And what I mean by that is, at Glory, we have a different culture. At my buddy Trey's gym, he has a different culture. We have all kinds of different cultures, and that's not how I was raised. I know that's not how I've trained or I've understood, but I know there's gyms that are just kind of handing out belts or this or that. So I imagine there is a sense of that, but from my perspective, I don't see that, and that's a great thing. But I can honestly see that's probably happening somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jason, a little anecdote that you've let slip in previous interviews is that when you were tested at the PI, they basically said you were the most stressed athlete that they'd tested so far. And that after that, you made a heap of changes, to sleep better and, by extension, perform better in the gym. whilst the physical benefits of reducing your stress are enormous, as a friend of the podcast, the Fight Dietitian, who works with a lot of UFC fighters, has discussed, did these improvements lead to almost more of a mental gain? Just not having that sort of mental stress hanging over your sleep and hanging over your training all the time?
Oh, 100%. You know what I mean? Most of the game is mental anyways. 100%. Mentally, I just feel better. And I'm still staying on that schedule. I'm still sleeping as much as I possibly can. I don't do the early mornings anymore, and I thank God for that every day, because I do not want to wake up fucking 4 o'clock in the morning anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, mentally, it just kind of I didn't know what I was doing to my body. I didn't know what my mental, because I just thought this is what I was supposed to, like, oh, we're grinding so hard, this is how you feel. It's not. I didn't know that this was wrong. You know what I mean? Like I said in previous news, I didn't know. You don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know what it was to be so unrecovered, like so anxious, so stressed out. I didn't know that was. I thought that's how I felt. God, don't be a pussy. Pretty much.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But redoing my sleep schedule and seeing that, I see it's almost like a light at the end of the tunnel, because I'm like, oh my God, this is 1,000 times better. Like, yeah, my body still hurts. I'm 35 years old. My body still hurts. There's days I still don't want to go to the fucking gym.
Yeah.
But knowing that, hey, maybe I need to take a day off. Maybe I need to do this. Maybe instead of playing 18 holes of golf, I can go fucking get more sleep. You know what I mean? Take a nap, go for a walk, or just do something that recovers me a little bit better. Yeah. So just kind of learning lesson in life for me to redo that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Jason, something I saw, particularly in one of your fights against Brian Barberena, is that whilst James Krause is giving you very clear and concise tactical advice on the fight and what he wants from you, it is very much like a friend talking to another friend. Is that sort of relationship that makes the difference in between rounds, where you can really benefit from his advice as the right motivation?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not just in the cage. That's not like that. That's a relationship that's built over time. I've known James for 10, 15 years, but I've trained with him for 7. He's been my coach for about 7, 8 years now.
Yeah,
that's a relationship built inside the gym, and a trust that's built inside that gym. When you guys hear James talk in the corner, you hear him say this. That's stuff we worked on over and over. We hit mitts once a week. We train together. We do this. We talk about game plan, all that stuff. That's all built through just that. So when you hear it in the cage, it's just repertoire that we've done over and over and over again. So it's really just a trust between him and I and the coaches that we have at Glory to get the job done.
Yeah, for sure. So we recently saw that Brandon Moreno has been working with your coach, James Krause. And that's obviously, a fairly significant piece of news, given how forefront in the flyweight division Brandon Moreno is. We're just wondering, have you had the opportunity to be in the training room with him at all? And if so, have you felt that supposed infectious Brandon Moreno energy, as they like to call it?
Yeah, I have. I've he's been here this entire week. His coaches are here. His partners are here, and a lot of those guys get along with a lot of people at the gym, and it works out really well. The world champion of the world, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but to have him in the gym, it pushes kind of everybody in the room to just do better. You know what I mean? It's not we're trying to anybody, but we're trying to know that we're a part of, like, we're training with the world champion. Like, can I keep a hold? Can I keep up with that guy?
Yeah,
that just kind of like builds a fire underneath people. Like, if let's say you have a good round against him, which some people are getting their asses whooped, and that's rightfully so.
Yeah.
Let's say you do this, like, it's just, especially like the lower pros, the amateurs, it shows, hey man, I can do this. I belong here. You know what I mean? So it just kind of, and he's one of the nicest guys ever. Like, walks in the gym, super energetic. And I've noticed a lot of top level guys are like that. James Gallagher's in the gym, and that's one of the nicest motherfuckers I ever met. Brandon Moreno is just always super nice. All the people around him. It's just a super cool kind of addition to our culture.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jason, something, maybe whilst your last fight, didn't go as planned, I think people are forgetting about the domination and control that you did show in that first round. Providing that you are healthy and looking, towards a return at the end of the year, is that something? Is any particular matchup there that excites you for your return fight?
Yeah, we were looking for like June, July, hopefully. Phil Rowe beat Omarion Casey, one of the Casey brothers, or I can't pronounce it very well. He beat him right before he beat me, and I thought that'd be a great fight for me. I really talked to my managers trying to get that fight. I think they have somebody else for him, but that's kind of the fight I really wanted to. I thought, it'd be not a guy who's 12 feet tall with a 97,000 inch reach.
Yeah.
But I thought it'd be fun. He's a good wrestler, has a lot of wrestling pedigree. He's 7-1. I think that I want to know I can out wrestle him, honestly, and I think I can. And I have D1 wrestlers in the gym, and you add my wrestling to MMA, I'm top notch in all of that. So I really thought it'd be a fun fight for me, and against him, we're both coming off losses to the same son of a bitch. But yeah. I think KOC would have been a fun fight, and hopefully that happens. I'm not sure it will, but that's kind of where I was looking.
Yeah, for sure. So, Jason, we've seen quite a few UFC fighters venture into grappling matches, particularly recently, against some of the top-tier jiu-jitsu competitions. So, we saw Luke Rockhold go against Nicky Rod. We saw, most recently, Sean Brady getting the upset victory over the talented phenom and Craig Jones. As someone with a background in wrestling, as well as being a newly minted black belt, could we ever see the Vanilla Gorilla venture into any fun grappling matches in the near future, either against other UFC competition or against some top-tier jiu-jitsu guys?
Yeah. Just real quick, I don't have a wrestling background. Never wrestled in college, never wrestled.
Yeah.
I didn't wrestle at all. I just started wrestling when I got into MMA. Absolutely. I'm in. I love this shit. It's competition to me. That's all it is to me. I love competing, whether that's chess, whether it's golf, whether it's, who can drive home fast. I drive faster than my wife does all the time. We try to beat each other home all the time. So I'm just a competitor. So yeah, I'm definitely in. They had Blue Corner is a jiu-jitsu kind of local fight here, and they had a bunch of fights last weekend, and I was like, I should have really done that. That would have been a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm always down to compete.
Awesome. Jason, something we'd really be interested to hear from your perspective on is something, the state of the MMA media today, and is there anything that you think can be done, or something that maybe grinds your gears a little bit, something that you think could be done better? Or
in terms of, what do you mean? Like in terms of media, what do you mean?
In terms of interviews, in terms of the way the media is with fighters, and I suppose a lot of media is looking for clickbait and that sort of stuff these days. As we try and run a podcast and talk to you guys. Is there anything you think that maybe grinds your gears a little bit? Something you don't particularly like about the media? Something like that?
Yeah, man, I'm not sure I'm the greatest person on that question, because I'm not a super into media guy. I don't have a huge social media like that. People like Julian Marquez, James Krause, those people are kind of the more questions. But no, man, like from what I see, I enjoy talking to everybody. It's something that when I first started doing this, it was something I was really fearful of, because I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to kind of conduct an interview in a sense, even though I'm the one I didn't know how to do that. But it's something I kind of push myself to do, and I enjoy interviews like this. I enjoy that stuff, and I really don't. I hate to leave you hanging, but I don't really have an answer.
It's good, man.
That's so good.
I don't have an answer to that.
There we go. Right. Well, the last question then, and possibly the most important one, Jason, when are we going to see your gorgeous dog decked out in glory gear walk you to the cage?
Bro, if I can make that fucking happen, I'd make that shit.
I mean, it'd be up there for greatest walkout of all time.
Dude, I'm going to talk to somebody, because I'm going to make that happen. My wife would be so pissed off. Like, you keep fighting the Apex and I can't go. When can I go?
Yeah.
If I got my dog to go, she'd be so mad.
Yeah, just feel like it's my one corner man that the UFC is going to send with me.
Totally worth it. I might it's totally worth it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's a great question. See, that's a media. You got to know.
There you go. That's a media question.
Dog, I'm all fucking in.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Well, Jason, thank you very much for joining us today. We always love talking to you. It was great to have you back on, and we'd love to have you back on before your next fight. Man,
just let me know when. Shoot me a message. I'm in.
Easy. Awesome. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jason.
Take it easy, guys.
Thanks, man.